Hi, this is Matthew Perosi with JWAG. I'm here in Bordeaux, France. Behind me is Palais Gallium, the remains of an ancient Roman amphitheater. This is segment 4 of my e-commerce presentation that I recorded during the JCK show in June of 2013. What you'll find here should be actionable for several years to come. I split the hour-long presentation into 7 segments so it's easier to watch. Let me pause for a moment to give you a chance to jump to one of the other segments before getting into this one. In this segment, you'll find out how to set up credit card processing on your website and what some alternatives are. Pay attention to the time requirements for the credit card account applications because you won't want to get caught off guard. Here it is.
Okay, speaking of credit card processing, when you are processing online, you have to have something called a gateway company. Now, just like the card swipe machine you have in your store, when you deal with an e-commerce website, you have to have some type of simulated card swipe. That's referred to as a gateway company. Now, your bank probably has their own gateway software, or they work with a gateway company. My preferred one is Authorize.net. They're also very easy to work with, and almost every type of e-commerce website will integrate easily with Authorize.net. But also, depending on what software you choose to run your website, your programmer will tell you what's going to be a good gateway company to sign up with. Some gateway companies have monthly fees, and some are free. It just depends on how you sign up. Another question about
having an e-commerce website. Do you find that jewelers are using it in their local area, or is it something that you're trying to sell nationwide or worldwide, and that's how you're going to see it?
That is up to the individual jeweler. The jewelers who I've helped set up e-commerce websites, some of them want to sell nationwide. Some of them are, one in particular is actually in a summertime resort area, and they use their e-commerce website to continue to sell to their clients throughout the winter, since no one's really in the area. Other jewelers I work with went through the headache of setting up e-commerce. They have no advertising, but what it allows them to do is better communicate with their local community. And then someone sees a price, they realize they can order it online. Sometimes they'll place an order and they'll ship it. The jeweler will ship it locally, and sometimes the person will place the online order and then call and say, hey, I just placed the order, I want to come pick it up. It really does depend on what your ultimate goals are for your store. So there was a mention already about PayPal. Now, in my experience, what I have found is that both PayPal and Google Checkout originally, now called Google Wallet, the risk for non-card present transactions for jewelry stores is too high, and most of the time, jewelers will not get approved to use these systems for either processing or for a shopping cart system. Typically, if you are setting up an e-commerce website, you should, as I got up here a couple of different things, I have found that the underwriting process when trying to get set up for an e-commerce merchant account, the underwriting process is usually a lot more difficult for jewelers than it is for other industries. Most of the time, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to go through underwriting because they really want to look at the owners of the business. They want to look at what's your previous business been like. Sometimes I have found that it's better for jewelers to set up separate merchant accounts with separate merchant companies than the one they're using in their store. And that's simply because if you have a chargeback online, you don't want that chargeback to then negatively impact your daily transactions in your store because your discount rate's going to go up. So you have a separate merchant account to protect yourself against permanent rise of discount rates from what you have in the store. Sometimes you also will need to go through a different merchant company because some merchant companies will say, yes, we will accept a high-risk jewelry store e-commerce website, and some will say no, they won't. So sometimes I've discovered that jewelers who have had long-standing accounts with old merchant companies usually end up having to find a new merchant company to work with. This is kind of tricky too. Once you get approved for e-commerce merchant account, you have 90 days from the approval to actually run your first, what they refer to as a test transaction. So your programmer has to enter in all the codes and run a test credit card number through the website to make sure that the system works. So you have kind of have 6 to 8 weeks of getting approved. You have 90 days from the time you get approved to run your first test. So you can't apply for your merchant account too early, and you can't apply for it too late. So whenever you think you're going to go live, try to plan ahead by 2 months and sign up at that point. I said it a little earlier that you're not going to have any immediate sales without bold marketing, and your SEO process is going to take a long time. Now, if you've got the money, sink some money into online banner ads or Google AdWords or some other type of advertising system that'll bring you a lot of traffic right away. The key to selling online is having enough people to get to your website. And you can do that by either getting them there through paid advertising or having really good search engine optimization. Of course, you have to be PCI compliant with the credit card processing, and as I said before, non-compliance is just not worth the risk. This is